approaching structures. This ship will not fit.
Won't fit.
Captain, we will not fit.
Won't fit! Will fit!
Star Trek on populaarikulttuurin ikoninen merkkiteos ja silti tämä 12 elokuva ja sarjansa toinen onnistuu yllättämään ja toimii ihan yksittäisenä toimintatrillerinä. Ja tässä ovat meidän Captain Kirk ja Spock. The film is paying homage to the original Star Trek, but yet you guys bring a lot of new stuff to the characters. How do you do that?
It was JJ's intention and his mandate for us when we did the first movie, actually, to be sure that none of us were trying to recreate or capture what came before us in terms of the indelible performances of the original cast, but rather to come to the characters with a fresh and unique perspective that we bring. So it is about a balance, you know, especially the characters that we play have such an iconic place in the zeitgeist that people really relate to them easily. So the responsibility became to walk the line between making them familiar and relatable, but also making them more dynamic in a way that's relevant to the stories that we're telling.
I told you we'd fit.
I am not sure that qualifies.
Those characters have to be recognizably, true to what Roddenberry created. So the challenge for us was, kind of to really take, those identifiable elements and imbue them into these younger versions of what these characters would be, and then also, we have to make them our own, and so it's kind of a fine balancing act.
The fact is this is a reboot of sorts, but we are those same people. It's just a different timeline. It's not that this isn't it starting again from the beginning. Everything that we know about Star Trek has happened, and the very presence of Leonard Nimoy as Spock Prime in the first film absolutely says Star Trek as we know it happened. So we are the same people. So to a degree, we have to play the characters those original actors created. But it's the way to do it is a very, very complex sort of channeling rather than trying to ape them in any way. It's like get the sense and the spirit of them and pay tribute to them as well. For me and Carl, we've lost our guys, so there's a certain sentimental factor in it and wanting to do them justice.
I read somewhere that you didn't really know Star Trek before the first film. That was good for creating the character. You could make it your own.
I had to learn a lot of the things the essence of Star Trek that should never be touched with, I had to sort of become acquainted with that, and my mom was very instrumental in aiding me with that information because she was a Star Trek fan, because that was from her generation as a child. I did a little bit of research. My mom helped me, and I got to meet Nichelle Nichols and Leonard Nimoy, and I was enamored with the show.
I really enjoyed that first film, and it brought me back to the TV series and original films, and I didn't watch those after I got the job, but after doing the job, I dived back into the Trek universe. I'm really humbled to be part of it. I do genuinely think it's an extraordinary thing, and it's not just about the obsession over the brilliant amount of imagination and detail that's richly woven through the stories, but also that the whole thing is really a celebration of democracy, that it's trying to imagine a better utopian future, and it does so with humor and wit and imagination and a great deal of pathos and humanity. So, whether it's the first mixed race kiss on television, that was a massive moment. Whether it's just tackling any issues of identity, whether it's sexuality or race or whatever it is, it's kind of a wonderful blueprint for morality plays. And I think what JJ does very well is honour that side of storytelling with thrills and spills of what Trek can be as a blockbuster in 3D IMAX.
The movie was not designed to be a bigger movie. It was designed to be a more complicated or deeper movie, and the first movie was, I think, great fun, and I loved all the characters, but it didn't go very deep because they just got to know each other. So the opportunity and the advantage we have in this movie was to delve into what's it like for these characters to be together in this way, and then more so, what is it like when they are pitted against a character like Benedict plays, and all of a sudden these relationships are, being tested and strained. And I think that the theme of the movie of how far you're willing to go for the person you love, it comes up again and again, and in literally for every character of the movie.
And your boyfriend's second-guessing me every chance he gets. Sorry, that was inappropriate. It's just sometimes I want to rip the bangs off his head. I don't know, maybe it's me.
It's not you.
It's not. Wait, are you guys fighting?
I'd rather not talk about it,
Oh my
sir.
God, what is that even like? Ears burning?
So, what's new for Uhura in this film?
She kicks ass. That's what's new and very exciting for me. Also, what's new is that she is much more confident in what she does, and that her relationship with Spock is in a different phase, in a deeper phase, and also she gets along with her captain much better.
Let me explain what's happening here. You are a criminal. I watched you murder innocent men and women. I was authorized to end you. And the only reason why you are still alive is because I am allowing it. So shut your mouth.
Who is John Harrison?
He is a bad guy. He's a terrorist. He's a sort of he's an extraordinary everyman terrorist in the sense. I mean, he uses one-on-one skills, combat, hand-to-hand combat and weaponry, and also at the same time is incredibly manipulative psychologically. He knows how to play on people's weaknesses. He's doing things for a reason, though. He's not just a two-dimensional cookie-cutter villain. He's got a very strong moral principle, which is almost like a shadow self of Kirk's, in the sense that there's a loyalty to his tribe, to his crew, in a sense of that idea of what his family is to him, and same with what it is for Kirk. And with Kirk, it's his journey to discover where he lies within the structure of the Enterprise and his role in it. And I think Harrison sort of is the ultimate protagonist to provoke him into that, to understanding and make the sacrifices that he does.
Give me one reason why I should listen to you.
I can give you 72. And they're on board your ship, Captain. They have been all along.
Tässä elokuvassa jopa pahis on tajuttoman komea.
He's right.
I just said you're very handsome.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. I don't know any Finnish, sorry.
But
sorry.
everyone in this movie is amazingly beautiful. The
Okay.
cast is great. I mean,
Right.
you were able to concentrate on the set.
Yeah, you're right. I was just walking into walls because everyone's so beautiful. You're kind of like, oh my God, look at her. Yes, I was able to concentrate on the set. I mean, it's a pretty exciting place to be, and there's lots to look at, and there are very beautiful people to look at. But no, it was a privilege to work with them. All of them are just sort of mesmerically beautiful. You are right to point that out. He's a very good-looking man. Zachary is just astonishingly handsome and distinct. And let's go through all of them. Should we go through all of them?
Lieutenant Carol Wallace, doctorate in applied physics, specializing in advanced weaponry.
Impressive credentials,
Thank you.
but redundant now that I'm back aboard the Enterprise.
And yet, the more the merrier. Have a seat, doctor.
3D:tä ja huikeita efektejä elokuva on aivan täynnä, mutta hei, se todellinen silmänruoka tässä leffassa on kyllä näyttelijät. Kattokaa nyt tätäkin. Aren't you a little bit too beautiful to be a science officer?
That's very kind of you. I'm very flattered. But I didn't know that those things were mutually exclusive.
We make fun of each other a lot. I mean, we make fun of Zach when he comes in without his eyebrows and they're sort of half shaved. We make fun of the way Chris hugs people and the way he eats. He's always hungry. We made fun of Benedict, because he was so English and proper and would ask every single question all the time. They always make fun of me because I always speak Spanish and I'm not aware of it. And it's hard for me to memorize my line. When somebody comes in with a new costume and it looks really great on them, we are very complimenting of it. And I remember there was that moment when we were shooting on set and we were in the Enterprise on the bridge, and Carl and Chris come in with their wetsuits and John Cho, and we're waiting for the lights to change, and they're standing in front of JJ and I. I told JJ to take a picture of their bums. We totally did, and send it to them that night, and they were so pissed.
Nobody knows the rules better than you, but there has got to be an exception.
None. Such action violates the Prime Directive.
Shut up, Spock. We're trying to save you, damn it.
Doctor, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Spock, we're talking about your life!
The rule cannot be broken. It needs to...
Spock! Try to get him back online.
90 seconds to detonations.
Spock were here and I were there. What would he do? He'd let you die.
Believe it or not, but there are still people out there who can't tell Star Trek and Star Wars apart and are not science fiction fans. Would you recommend this movie as a standalone action thriller to someone who doesn't know Star Trek?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I think that's the wonderful thing about what JJ's done. He's created a film for fans of film. You don't need to know anything about Star Trek to go along to this movie and have a great time. I mean, if you just, look at the way this movie begins, and it's really kind of a throwback to, what Steven Spielberg did in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Or, the way that the Bond films used to be introduced with the sort of, your heroes are ending their previous adventure and you're thrown right into the deep end.
Literally in this case.
Yeah. So, I think it's a very accessible film.